Intel up 17, almost 18% today. What in the world? Intel just going crazy here. Meanwhile, everything else in the dumpster. Yeah, let's see if Intel holds up here at these levels. Or does it offer us a short opportunity a little later in the day? Intel single-handedly holding up the market so far. Hey Anthony, good morning. Anthony Foster's asking 12 charts all at once. Yeah, I'm trying something different today, Anthony. Usually I have 6 charts up. Today I decided to put one of my other screens. This is my other screen that I have on my other monitor, which I'm always looking at 12 charts on the other screen. So I decided, why don't I just put this up instead, and then I can save the other screen for something else. So yeah, I have 12 charts. I just use kind of to scan, and then I have a separate monitor where I'm looking at one ticker at a time to enter into trades. So that's kind of how I have it set up, and so the 4 monitors set up. So yeah, let me know if you guys like this 12 charts, or is it too much? I guess for some people it might be too much, or if you're watching on a smaller screen, maybe the 12 charts don't look as good. So yeah, I guess you guys let me know if this is too many charts. I can take it down to 6. Or even 4. But this is just the screens that I watch during the day to spot for setups. Marv XE, good morning, brother. How are you doing? What are you looking at, Marv, today? I'm looking at all these right here, pretty much. Got my eye on Intel with the big gap. Looking at NVDA, Tesla with a big sell-off here, but it's right at yesterday's support. Looking at the crypto space with coin and MSTR. Apple bounced off yesterday's low, leaving a pretty large wick here, bottoming wick. I do like that for like a potential long setup, but need to drill into the higher time frame to see if that makes sense. It's just been so weak. I mean, everything's been so weak. I am not eager to take any longs, to be honest. Let's go put all 10. And this coin looks really, really weak. Marv XE saying that he is long MU from 96. Oh, cool. Let's put MU up. Let's put MU up right here. Oh, nice, man. This is a sick candle. You got long from 96. I like it, man. I like it. Only issue, of course, is the resistance area right here. Well, trying to draw a line here. Right there. And you're over that 97 line. On the daily also looks good, so you potentially have room all the way up to this 100 area, basically. So, nice trade there, man. We're already $1 in the money on MU. PLTR kind of lingering around yesterday's area. Let's see what coin, if coin wants to do anything here off of the 184. Obviously very solid support. 184 monster, bounced off yesterday's resistance here. 267 and is going lower for now. NVDA also approaching the congestion area, consolidation area from yesterday afternoon. So SPY again looking lower, looking like it wants lower. So let's see if we can find some trades here. Let's see what we can get into here. Definitely like coin for a short if it can. If it can't hold this 184.30s area. Really 184. If it can't hold this 184 area. That's kind of a better view. Kind of been bouncing off here. 1, 2, 3, 4 would be today. So it cracks through 184. Maybe we get a move lower. Let's see. It has held up pretty strong as support. A lot of things with a quick drop this morning. A lot of things with a quick drop. So really no opportunity for me at least to get into any trades. But if you're quick like Marv, you would have gotten an MU. I'm guessing you're probably, Marv might be using a 1 minute time frame. Maybe he's using a 1 minute time frame. And then I can see why you would get long here. You have this big ignition candle and then slow move upwards. Just gonna leave that in the chat, that question about how many charts you guys want to see. Maybe 12 is too much. For me it isn't, but I do have a pretty big monitor, so. But if you're watching on a smaller screen or a phone or something, maybe things might be too small. Let's see. So not into any trades yet, just being patient. Waiting for some things to set up. There's always a shakeout in the first 15 minutes, right? So, and since I'm not using 1 minute charts, I really need to wait for clear pattern to set up. AMD is nice here. Bounce off the 200 period moving simple average. Simple moving average here. Could be a nice long on AMD. It's been an uptrend for the past couple days. Of course, downtrend if you look further out. Everything's been a downtrend if you look further out enough, but in the short term at least. All right, so Intel moving back down. This is what I was talking about for Intel. I'm interested in a short on Intel. Pre-market high on Intel is like 2350. So right here. So if it loses that, that also would make this an engulfing candle. And for me, that's a setup that's worked out. So I would take a short on Intel there. We have only 1 minute left to close on this candle as well, so the only bad thing is, of course, shorting a stock that's up 15%. Usually not what you want to do, but I think this. I think this is a situation where a gap can be sold off since we are sort of in a market that's been so bearish as of the last few months. So looking at Intel for a potential short. MU's struggling here at that resistance line. 97, 97.50. Struggling. Yeah, Marv is saying I'll most likely get stopped out of the market isn't cooperating. Yeah, man, it's that's the thing with the market lately. It's been these individual stocks will gap up and, you know, have a good daily setup for a long, but the overall market is just so trash. It's been selling off every day that there's just no momentum, you know, to carry this move upward. Like swimming upstream, you know, in a river. It's going to be tough when you're going against the overall market. So, market dropping again. I wonder if MU, I would want to take MU for a short if it loses this area. Probably not. This is a fairly strong. I don't know if MU will really drop much today, at least. We did have a nice gap yesterday and it ran up. So coin right at that 184. I'm looking at a potential short on coin, and I think I'll take it actually. I'll take the short on coin, and then also I'm going to take a short on Intel. Gonna have to give it a pretty wide stop on both. But I like the idea. I like the idea for both the coin. Yeah, because it's like right about here. So if we can, coin's gonna have to stay below this price, 183.58. It needs to stay below that. So I'm short coin. Let's get Intel going here. Where's Intel on my? I'm using Dash Trader on my other screen. That's where I execute my trade. So I'm looking. I look at AMD. It was looking fairly strong, and now just losing all that. Baba also giving back some. Still early in the day, so we could very well change direction several times, you know, in the next hour. NVDA continues to look weak. PLTR broke below 82s. Probably next stop 80. So I did not get into the Intel short just because it's holding VWAP here. So it might be maybe if it starts breaking the lows, maybe that's where I might get into a short. And then stop over VWAP. I am in the coin short. So in the coin short. And it is working out. The coin short. The question is where I'm going to cover. Where am I going to cover coin? So if you look on a 30-minute chart, this, let me clear this up on coin. MU now well below the VWAP. Market continuing lower. We got the SPY here. Let's see if Intel makes a move lower below 2350 is that pre-market. Do I have pre-market on here? Yeah, there we go. On the 15-minute, I have the pre-market. So I'll put a line here. This is previous day's action. There's a 15-minute chart on Intel here, so kind of watching this thing like a hawk right now. I think if it loses pre-market high, oof, AMD, look at that. That's nice, rejecting right off of 100. I missed that actually earlier. I missed that. I may have taken this short. I mean, it still might be a good opportunity for a short. This got moved down to 96. Yeah, so what was I kind of getting distracted here? Getting distracted. Coin, what I was trying to do here is I am short coin, and I kind of want to know where this thing may bounce. So really, like, this is a good line, 183.40. So it needs to stay below 183.40. Next target can be 177s. This is a 30-minute chart. Okay, Intel getting lower. Let's put this back on 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clean move here on coin so far. So the only trade I have right now is the coin short. Looking at potentially an Intel short. Looking at a potential Intel short. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to get in short Intel here. Oof, coin, nice. Coming down nicely. I'm probably going to move my stop on coin much lower now. Initially, I had the coin stop above, close to this area right here. Probably move it down to here now, so lowering my risk. MU coming right down. So Marv, hopefully you got out of MU. Man, everything just crushing lower. That's all you got to do, guys. Every day, just come in here and hit the short button. Wait for a pop. Hit it short. What else is there? Easy money. Okay. Well. Yeah, I'm disappointed I don't have more shorts, but at least we've got two. Well, one of them's in the money nicely. I'm up almost 1 hour on coin. Intel needs to get lower. I really want to see a break of that 2350 on Intel. That break of the pre-market high is what's gonna... That's what's gonna make me feel comfortable. We're coming lower today. And PLTR really fell off a cliff here. Look at this move. Ooh. $3 move. 10 minutes. $5 move in 30 minutes. Pretty awesome. Could have taken this short here, breaking the 200 period SMA. But then the stop would have to be pretty high, so I didn't take that. AMD was one that offered a good risk reward because you shorted it somewhere here. You could have put a stop, you know, just below 100. Would have been already up an hour. Let's hope Intel follows AMD. NVDA right at the yesterday's support area, bouncing 114. Not sure if we're going to continue that or not. Marv is saying that he stopped out of Intel. Sorry, he stopped out of MU. Marv XC was long MU from 96. Yeah, you got a nice move out of it though. You got a good dollar out of that move. Alright, so I've got my stop moved to break even on coin, so it can't be coin can't be a loser for me now. Break even will be our worst case scenario. So a lot of things fairly extended here. I mean, even the SPY, like, you know, fairly extended to the downside, getting into yesterday's bottoming range. So we had a really big bounce here yesterday off this 554 area. So SPY's back in that zone again today. And the question is, do we get another bounce here? Because we had a bounce here, here, lower, again. So it's kind of like, this is the lowest point from day before yesterday. Then you had a higher low. Do we get a higher low today now? Right, so you can have some sort of a trend line like this. So if that's the case, maybe this is a beginning of a trend upward. But if we end up getting a lower low today, then of course, you know, we could continue to go lower. Intel, really stubborn, holding this 24 area, 2375. It's not budging. My stop's going to be close to the highs for Intel, so if it does make a move over there, we get automatically stopped out. I do use hard stops in place, so I don't have to like manually stop out if I'm away from my computer or something like that, or if I'm busy talking or doing something else. Like I always use hard stops, so if Intel's going to decide to go against me, then it's an auto stop out, and yeah, we'll take the hit if it continues up higher. MU with a very strong bounce up here does not bode well for our Intel short. Same thing pretty much across the board. Look at these bounces now. Look at these bounces we're getting. Tesla could be an interesting spot here. Tesla bouncing off the 235 area, which was the double top that was formed yesterday, morning, afternoon on Tesla yesterday. And now we're kind of forming a doji here. This could potentially trigger a move up. BABA really strong. Look at this. Nice move. Coin going up, not good for us, but again, this is going to be a break-even stop for us, so we're not going to lose anything here if it does go up over our entry. So BABA's really strong. Wow. What's PDD doing? Let's check out PDD. Yep, same. PDD and BABA were pretty strong early. Well, PDD was at least. Yesterday, and then just pretty much sold off most of the day. BABA was just weak all day. Now we're getting up into the resistance areas here on BABA. Wonder if there's some kind of news. It's pretty interesting. So SPY with a very good bounce here now, as you guys can see. Good bounce. Let's see, maybe we get along on Tesla or AMD or NVDA has already bounced up nicely here over the VWAP. Maybe those are our long plays for today. Let's see how they look here on the 10-minute. MU, very strong. You had the right idea, Marv. Even though hard not to get stopped out on this move, but Intel still lingering around the VWAP. Stop is on Intel, is going to be near high a day. AMD bouncing off yesterday's support areas. All right, Tesla is something I'm looking at for a long, big bounce up here on MSTR. So I do like NVDA and Tesla for potential long ops right now, with the market bouncing up higher. Yeah, we got about 10 seconds left here for this candle to close on the 10 minutes. So if NVIDIA does make a move and holds higher, I think that could be a good long opportunity, especially looking at the daily on NVIDIA. Bounced off the 106 area on the daily. So keeping an eye on that. Apple continues to be so weak. Apple just continues to stay so weak. Golly. Just too extended to short, but you know, you could have said that about anything the last 3 months. Too extended to short. It keeps going lower. So who knows? All you can do is have a good risk to reward ratio where when you're right, you're winning more than losing when you're wrong. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind a short here on Apple. It's gonna crush down below the lows. Maybe we can be a day where Apple goes lower, but don't love it because it's, you know, near yesterday's support area. So we could easily just dip into 214 and rip back up. So not the best to set up. So I don't mind sitting that one out. Coin is going to be very close to topping us out actually here in a few seconds. There'll be a break-even stop out for us if we get stopped out of coin. Still have the Intel trade on, I'm short. I'm looking at NVIDIA long and Tesla long. That's what I'm looking at right now. I just want to see a little bit of a higher move here in NVIDIA. Yeah, I think this is a good setup here for a long. So I'm long NVIDIA here. And yeah, I mean, you can even make an argument for a coin long, you know? Kind of pierced through this support line and then right back over it. And where's Tesla? Let's get long on Tesla as well. Market's continuing to climb. So yeah, gonna wait a little bit longer here on Tesla, but I like this setup here on Tesla for a long. You're testing yesterday's resistance turned into support. The market's going up, giving you some confluence. Intel just moving sideways, which is kind of good. Looks really pretty weak. So I can definitely see making a little pop here and then fading off. At least that would be the plan. Because you see the market is showing green, Intel not really doing anything. Right, going sideways. So SPY's going up, Intel going sideways. A relative weakness on Intel. Okay. continue to move up. All right. Okay. I got long Tesla. So I'm in 3 positions at the moment. I have an Intel short, NVDA long, and a Tesla long. The coin trade was stopped at break even. Well, let's see. Now, NVIDIA is looking very solid here. It's over the VWAP, bounced off yesterday's levels, moving higher. PLT are similar, but I really don't like this big sell-off here. So, MU, Marv, I don't know if you're still watching, but man, this MU staying very strong, man. Very strong. All right, there we go. Our NVIDIA up nicely. We just need Tesla to continue now. Let's go, Tesla. Let's go. To get over that 240 area. Man, clean bounce on AMD off this line that I had put 98. This was yesterday's support or resistance from yesterday, turned into support for AMD. Pretty clean bounce off that line. PDD flying, running into yesterday's resistance. Baba flying too. Wonder if there's any China news in these names today. Let's see what else is happening here and some other. I'm looking at QBTS. I'm hearing QBTS. QBTS is pretty good. Maybe we can move this QBTS. Let's move QBTS. Wow. This looks like a nice setup actually for a long. Quantum. Ooh, man, look at coin. What a bounce. The 180. NVIDIA is doing really well for us. Until not doing anything. Alright, trying to long here on QBTS. It's up 15.5%. Moved up over yesterday's highs, bounced off yesterday's highs. And if you look at the daily on QBTS, looks like it's got some room to the upside for sure. This is some previous areas of resistance. Just marking some of those down. Wow, look at coin. Man, maybe we should have reversed into a long on the coin. Wow, right where we stopped out too. That would have been a pretty epic long spot. As it usually is, right? When you have your stops, it's usually in areas where you think the price is going to reverse, which is why you put a stop there. So a lot of times you will have that feeling that, why didn't I just go long when I stopped out, or why didn't I reverse my position? Well, you weren't planning for that trade, right? I wasn't planning for the long on coin, and even though it would have worked out this time, it would have been more of a random trade. So you can't be mad about missing out. So NVIDIA working out nicely. Tesla is doing well for us, so we're long Tesla, we're long NVIDIA, we're long QBTS. Quantum Computing, ticker D-Wave Quantum Incorporated. The SPY is now moving up towards the high of day, so pretty close to flat on the day. So the question now becomes, are we going to move up higher over the open and turn this into a green day for SPY? Or are we just going to bounce off of 559 and then kind of pinball in this area? If we pinball in this area, then a lot of the longs I took are not going to work out, and we're going to end up getting stopped down on a lot of the longs. So speaking of which, let me go and adjust my stops. I'm going to adjust my stops on the long trades I have. Intel, NVIDIA, Tesla, QBTS. Let's go ahead and adjust the stops. I'm going to move the stops a little higher on NVIDIA. That way we don't have the full risk on the table anymore. All by rejecting off some of those resistance spots. All right, looking at BABA for a potential short. Keep an eye on that. Intel is lingering around here, right in this area, so sort of like 50-50 at this point, whether it's going to stop me out or go lower. And the longer it consolidates in this area, the less confident I am that it's going to go lower. So I have to make a decision on Intel soon. Look at Apple, just tried to make a move higher, sold off. Let's go. NVIDIA crushing. Tesla doing real well as well. Alright, Intel, what's the plan here? Intel looks like it doesn't want to go lower. Alright, this is interesting. This is really interesting here on the SPY. We get like a little blip. I think we may get stopped out of our Intel here. My stop is roughly around here. So, I mean, if it wasn't up so much, if it wasn't up like 17%, this is actually a good long setup, I would say. Like, I'd like this setup as a long move up, consolidation, and a slow move upwards. I really like that for a long. So, but it's already up 17.5%. And yeah, it's possible we can continue higher. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Alright, I took a short on Baba here. I like the Baba short in that one. Looking for it to come back into this area on Baba. NVIDIA rejecting off the 117.50 area pretty hard. Same thing with Tesla. Same thing with the market. Okay, let's look at our stops. So looking at the stops here, I need to update them. Because I definitely don't like seeing this type of action on NVIDIA and the market when I'm in the longs, right? It's definitely not what you want to see. So this is a good time to evaluate where our stops are going to be. And maybe we go into break-even stops. I think that's a good idea. Let's do that for both NVIDIA and Tesla. Yeah. So I think that's pretty fair. We've had a pretty good move in our favor for both Tesla and NVIDIA. In fact, I mean, these might be, especially NVIDIA, looks like a good short, honestly. with a big wick over that 117.50 area. So yeah. In fact, I'm gonna stop out of NVIDIA right now and look for a potential short. So all out of NVIDIA. So what I did with NVIDIA is I stopped out of the trade early on NVIDIA on the long, took profit, and I have flipped short on NVIDIA. So my stop's going to be over the high, so I am short NVIDIA now. So reverse my position. I'm short BABA, short NVIDIA, long QBTS, long Tesla still short Intel as well. So Tesla I'm looking at cutting and flipping as well on the short side. Same, and the other thing I'm looking at is potentially a coin short. But I kind of want to see how this area plays out here. Because this inverted hammer candle is pretty good to short after, but kind of need to see some follow through. Because otherwise we could have just a move that kind of goes a little bit higher to fill the gap, which is here, towards 190. So just need to be a little bit more patient. Intel going in our direction, the market going lower. That's kind of helping us out. So we're up on the Tesla trade about half an hour right now. So if I take it off and flip short, we'll lock in that half an hour profit. But yeah, and it's wicking off that 241 line that was yesterday's support, turned into now potentially resistance. So About 5 minutes left on this candle here. So one thing that I like to do is sort of wait for the candles to close, because a lot of times it's kind of like a mind game, you know. You get into a candle right now and it looks totally different 5 minutes later. So kind of learn to be more patient. Just kind of something that works for me, works better for me, rather than jumping into stuff, you know, in the middle of the candle still being formed. Alright, so what are we doing here? Tesla now looking better for a short, and I'm gonna close out my long position, take the profit, and yeah. I went ahead and flipped short on Tesla. Apple just continues to stay weak. UBTS rejected the 680 again. Stop on QBTS is going to be below this candle here. Coin I like for a short as well. Let's see if we can jump into this now. Still 3 minutes left on this candle. Trying to be patient, trying to be wait. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Be patient. Alright, so there's another trade I just took. I was looking at on my other screen that I like this setup for, which is Hood. Let's see if I can move one of these and put them there. Let's take out MU and put hood. Yeah, so I took the short on hood here, HOOD short. So let's go over what I got now. Got quite a few positions open. We've got the Intel short, QBTS long, which is right here. We got the BABA short right here, short of that one. We got the NVDA short, which we took long from down here. Took it off on this rejection, shorted. And Tesla, same situation. We are short Tesla. Took it long down here. Took it all off here. One short. On this candle. Getting a nice move lower. So we are short Tesla as well. And then hood. I like this setup for short on hood. We had a move down, up, inverted hammer, rejecting off these areas right here, the 38. And now expecting a move lower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open positions right now. We're working on a nice green day so far, since we didn't really take any full stop outs. So we did stop out on coin earlier when we had taken the short, but we stopped out break even on that. So far no losing trades, which, you know, that doesn't always happen. But so far so good. Intel now coming back down pretty hard. Intel. This is nice. Remember what I said from earlier today. I think 2350 is really the line in the sand. Pre-market high. I think if we can break below that, we can get a nice move lower. But it is sort of the obvious short right today. Intel is the obvious short. Everything is down. And here you have Intel gapping up like 15%. Like, I think probably everyone thought like that and wanted to look for short. So the downside of that is that if everyone is, you know, on one side, then it becomes a one-sided trade. And just from the stuff that I've learned or heard about is like, you really don't want to be in trades where it's like too heavy to one side, because the market makers can, you know, if they see that, then it's easier for them to move price around to what favors them. So we had a nice move in our direction across the board on BABA, NVIDIA, Tesla, hood, and Intel. Now the question is, do we get a follow through, right? Because I haven't taken any profits off of the table on NVIDIA, Tesla, hood, because I'm risking up towards the high day. I need to give these more of a room before I cover them, so that I'm able to get at least, like, you know, 1R, 2R, 3R on these. So I have not taken any profits on these, and this is just my style. I mean, a lot of people like to take profits right away, but you know, I kind of still am figuring that stuff out. Sometimes I do take profits early, like you saw, and like on NVIDIA and Tesla, we did that flip short. So it just kind of depends. Chris Taps, hey, what's going on, Chris Taps? What are the those pivots on your charts. Yeah, these pivots, I've just had them on there forever. It's called the SATY, S-A-T-Y pivots. This is on Thinkorswim. I think they have this indicator on TradingView as well, but it's called SATY, S-A-T-Y. It basically takes some average true range and does some calculations on like retracement levels, like Fibonacci levels. So I've just always had them on my chart. Now we're seeing some of that whipsaw movement. You see what I mean? Like, especially on like Intel here, where, you know, just a minute ago it looked like it was going to tank and get to new lows. Similar situation here with coin. Looked like it was going to drop below VWAP, and now it's recovered. So could be just one of those days where we go sideways, right? We get a fake out one direction, fake out to the upside, fake out to the downside, but at the end things go nowhere. So definitely have to be aware of a potential of a sideways day and just kind of plan accordingly. So, and the best thing you can do is adjust your stops, right? So if the move doesn't go immediately in your favor, a lot of traders I know that say something like the trade doesn't work right away, they take it off. Or if the trade doesn't go right away in their favor, then it's probably not going to be a good trade. Yeah, I can see why people say that, you know. I can see why if the trade is right, it should go right away. But, you know, maybe it depends on the time frame you're trading. Like I'm obviously trading on a little bit higher time frame than most day traders because I'm using 10-minute charts. And if you look at my channel, look at some of my trades, they do take a while for them to work. You know, so sometimes they don't go right away. Like Intel, you know, I shorted that thing 20 minutes into the market open. I'm still in it on Intel. So I'm sort of looking at patterns that play out over a larger time period. So maybe like a pattern that plays out over 2 to 3 hours versus a pattern like on a 1-minute chart where you might be looking at a pattern that plays out over just 10 minutes. So I guess it's very time frame dependent. I don't know. Maybe if you guys have some insight on that, I would like to hear some other people's feedback on it, but let's go. Things are moving in our direction, guys. Or maybe I should say my direction. Maybe you guys are long. Hopefully you're not long, but things are moving in my direction, you could say. Chris Stapps is saying, as you mentioned, you are ISW intraday swing trader. You need to wait for targets for the math to work, right? Yeah, pretty much, man. I think that's exactly right. Like, I need to wait for the targets for the math to work because, you know, depending on your win rate, like let's say your win rate's 50%, right? So half the trades you're going to lose. So the half that you do win, you need to win enough so that it makes up for your losses and then some, right? So yeah, for sure. I mean, that probably goes. That probably applies to like any type of trader, you know, right? It's not just like this applies to you know, swing traders or whatnot. I think even, you know, if you're trading on a 1 minute chart, 2 minute chart, swing trading 5 minutes, it's kind of like, you know, it doesn't matter, but yeah, like if you have like a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? Like you're risking $100 to make 200. Your break-even win rate needs to be only 0.3%. So you only need to win 1 out of 3 trades if you're getting 2-to-1 on all of your trades. So that means, yeah, if you're like closing out trades at 1R, not waiting for the full 2R, then your win rate needs to be higher than 33%, right? You need to be at like 50%. Then you can maybe do less, right? So basically 1-to-1, 50%, right? But you're just break even at that point. You're risking 100 to make 100, and you have 50% win rate. You are essentially just breaking even. So your win rate has to go up to 60% for you to make money, and then you can do 1-to-1, which is fine. Like I think I do know traders that just focus on 1-to-1. Maybe not focus, but they kind of start taking profits when they see 1R. And I've been sort of experimenting with all that. I've been sort of experimenting with waiting for 2 and 3R and taking profits at like 1, 2, and 3R. And, you know, I'm still sort of learning along and figuring these things out to see which is better. But the obvious solution is, you know, look for a greater reward on the trades that work. For me, at least, the obvious thing is, you know, just wait for 2R, wait for 3R. And like a trade like coin, I had 1R gain on that short early on where we shorted it here. We had 1R right there. Didn't take any of it off. And then closed out break even. So when I am shooting for 2 and 3R, then I'm going to have to accept the fact that there's going to be times where I'm going to be giving up a lot of R's, unrealized gains, right? Kind of like I did over the last like 5-10 minutes I've been talking. Like, you know, I was up like half an R on all my open trades, more than half an R on all my open trades. But we've had this move up here, this green candle, that kind of ate away at some of my unrealized gains. So, you know, I guess you just depends on your system, depends on your style, depends on your personality. If are you able to watch your P&L go against you, like go in your favor to begin with, where you're nicely green, where you're up in half an hour or 1 hour, and then you watch that disappear. Your P&L goes from being up 3R to like 0R. If you're able to stomach that, then I think actually you have to be able to stomach that if you're shooting for bigger R's, right? If you're shooting for 2 and 3R, stocks just don't go straight up and straight down. As much as like I would love for everything to just drop. I'm short on a lot of names right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names I'm short. I would love for everything to just drop straight down and hit my 2R, 3R targets. But come on, how realistic is that, right? That almost never happens, right? Maybe like 10% of my trades where I get in and boom, straight to targets. Those are just lucky trades, right? There's like, sometimes they work out like that, sometimes they don't. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with, especially with the intraday swing trader. Gotta wait for the targets for the math to work, that's for sure. And that's kind of like the tug, the push and pull between, at least mentally for me, is like, like, do I need to wait for the mathematical targets for my system to be profitable? Like, 2R, 3R. Or do I need to exit trades when the levels are hit, where like it's a support area or a resistance area, right? Because that's where most traders, I think, that I know on Twitter, like a lot of traders use levels like support resistance levels. I do too. But they will take profits at those levels. Like, for example, coin, like some traders that shorted coin, for example, here, they may take profit right here at the VWAP, right? Which, wait, what is happening here to my coin? Did I not take the coin short? I don't see 1, 2, 3, 4. What's happening? I'm trying to figure out why I'm not short coin. Did I not take the coin short? Oh gosh. Okay. So I actually didn't take the coin short. I thought I was short coin this whole time. Right in this area when I saw this rejection. But what happened was I had hood up, HOOD, and because it looks similar, I took the hood short. And then for some reason I thought, since they look so similar, was when I look back at the chart of coin, I was like, oh yeah, I'm already short, but I'm not short coin. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. But yeah, so I'm short hood, Tesla, NVDA, BABA, Intel, and I'm long QBTS, which is kind of going sideways. So not looking the greatest. And really like this candle here, by the way, on Tesla. Really liking this candle. We had a big push up. Buyers tried to get it over the VWAP. Failed. Now I think we should see a continuation lower. And it's a shame I'm not short coin as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions I'm in right now. Maybe that's why I'm not short coin. Maybe my brain's like, uh-oh, too many positions. But I don't mind getting into a lot of positions, If I see a bunch of setups, I don't mind. Especially the pace that I'm trading, it's fairly slow, right? Like I'm not like scalping in and out every few minutes. So I have my targets in place. I have my stops in place. So I can really be in like 10 trades at once. I don't want to be, but something happens, I could do that. Kristaps is saying, Best Loser Wins is a great book on the subject of letting your winners run and being okay to let unrealized gains evaporate, adding to winners for the big wins. Our mind wants to do the opposite. Yeah, I've actually read that book. Best Loser Wins. It says Tom Hugard or something like that, I believe. That's his name. Best Loser Wins. Yeah, Tom Hugard. If I'm saying his last name correctly. Best Loser Wins. Yeah, that's a good book. That's a good book. I read it about maybe 6 months or a year ago. Well, I don't really read books. I like Audible. I like Audible. I like to listen to the books while I'm like driving or, doing some chores around the house, working in the garage. Just have the headphones on, listening to a good audiobook or a podcast. That's really what I use that time for. Try to listen to a book. And what's nice about listening to the book is like sometimes like the concept that they're talking about, I really want to understand it the first time around, so I'll just like hit the rewind button 5 times. Let's hear that again. So, pretty cool. So, yeah, this is kind of what's happened today, right? Like, on the subject of letting the winners run and being okay to let unrealized gains evaporate. That's pretty much what's happening to me today. Because I would have been up like about 3R already on the day. Several times I was up 3R. And right now I've locked in a realized gain of 1R between all the different trades that I've closed out. And unrealized I'm green a little bit as well, but at some point I was up like over 3R today. And yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. Like, I'm totally okay with all of my trades stopping out. I mean, that's just, for me, it's, like, kind of like the book talks about, Best Loser Wins. Like, you just depend on the system. So I have my system in place. I have done my back testing, and I know that a lot of my trades are going to hit my targets. And if not, the beautiful thing I think that really helps me, like, I know this is like hard to wrap around for most people when you have like a 1R unrealized profit and then it gets wiped out. That's tough mentally. And what really helps me, something that helps me deal with that and kind of like accept that mentally, is knowing that if that happens, like it happened in coin where I was short, went 1R, and I lost it all. I lost the unrealized gain. So I didn't really lose anything because I broke even. But what helps me is knowing that the worst that'll happen is that I won't lose any money. Right? So even though I've lost the unrealized gain, 1R, what helps me is that that's kind of like phantom money. It's not really my money. It's just like a temporary measurement of how right I was on the trade. And I was right temporarily. And then I turned out to be wrong. And if that's the case, it's fine. But what kind of gives me patience to continue doing it is the fact that I just break even. So it's almost like the trade never happened. Kind of like my coin trade that I took in my mind. I took a mental short on coin in this area, and I look on my platform and I don't have the trade on. So it's kind of like that, right? It's like, boom, okay, it happened, but it's almost like it never happened. So can I really be crying over that? Something that didn't happen. So anyway, I don't know if that's kind of makes any sense, my ranting on that, but that's what helps me, right? Getting over days like this where things are kind of moving sideways. You get an initial move in one direction, no follow through, a secondary move in the up direction, no follow through, and then now you're getting a down move again with no follow through. So on days like this, yeah, probably going to have a lot of stop outs. You're probably going to have a lot of times where your unrealized up 1R is going to go to 0R. And just, being okay with that is well, that's up to you, right? It depends on your style. Some traders have, like, it's got to be like any red and I'm out of the trade, right? Like, they trail their P&L. And, again, I'm not knocking that. Maybe that's good. That's just whatever your system tells you to do, you got to do. Whatever works for you. That's the key. Plus, I'm not an expert, right? I'm figuring this stuff out just like you guys. So, who knows the right answer? I don't know. I sure as heck don't know the right answer, but this is kind of what I'm doing, what's working for me. Chris Taps is saying, yeah, same here, Audible. Any other books or podcasts you would recommend? I listen to like such a random collection of podcasts. It's like so random that, like, if you look at my podcast history, you're like, what the hell? What the heck is this guy listening to? Like, what is going on? So one of the podcasts I like to listen to is the All In podcast. It's more like on a political spectrum and business. It's a lot about business and a bunch of billionaires talking. So I listened to that one. Chat with Traders is a pretty good one for day trading. Chat with Traders. And then as far as other podcasts, Huberman Lab. I've listened to a lot of Huberman Lab podcasts about like health and fitness and stuff like that. Lex Friedman, a little bit of his podcast. They're very dry for me, so I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I've listened to some of them. And then what else do I have here? I have Planet Money from NPR. I listen to that randomly. And then I do like true crime podcast. I don't know if you guys are into that. This is what I mean. It's like very random. I like true crime podcast. So there's if you guys are into that stuff, Sword and Scale is one that I listen to. I can't listen to too many of these things because they get pretty horrible. But once in a while I'll listen to one of those. There's very interesting stuff. And then there's another one that's also really good true crime podcast. Trying to find that here. It's by an Australian guy. Case File True Crime. So there you have it. A very wide assortment of podcasts that I listen to. And that's only some of them. There's a bunch of other ones that I listen to, but I'm not, kind of, depending on the mood, right? Listen to. Oh man, why am I not short coin? Gosh, that's a 1R gain right there. Okay, so at least NVDA is working out for us on the short side. Tesla working out. Hood working out on the short. So all of our shorts are doing well, except for Intel. Well, Intel's actually doing okay. Slightly green on it. And where's BABA? BABA's kind of... This is not doing so great. I think BABA will probably stop out of this if it breaks over this range. I don't want to give it back up too much of a room since it's had plenty of time to come down. So, and it did bounce off the VWAP here and it's holding. So for me, that tells me that this thing really doesn't want to drop too much, at least not now. But I have already lowered my stop on BABA, but I'll probably lower it even more to maybe just above this range, 138.40s. This seems like a 138.50 seems like a good spot to stop out BABA. So let me just go over that real quick. Update my stops. Intel, nice series of lower highs, lower high, lower high. So we need this to continue here. Need that to continue on Intel. QBTS kind of the same, lower high, but kind of consolidating sideways. I am long on QBTS. My shorts, my stop is going to be below the low here, so I'm going to give this plenty of room to work itself out. What else here? Tesla, I like the stop that I have there above the VWAP, so if it goes above the VWAP, we're going to be stopped out. Similar to Hood. Intel, my stop's still going to be pretty high. 2440s, because I can see this thing kind of whiplash around a little bit. So, all right. So Chris Epps is saying, "Yep. What another great IST master does is he says he takes very small mental orders, just a small size, and it calms the brain down." You're talking about taking very small mental orders, meaning like profits, like taking some exits, taking pieces off to like for example, now I'm up 1 hour on all my, not all my trades, but I wish. NVIDIA, I'm up 1 hour, Tesla up 1 hour, Hood almost up 1 hour. So what Chris Stapps is saying that is taking small mental orders, small size, calms the brain down. So like, for example, that would mean that right now I would take a piece off of NVIDIA, calm the mind, take a little profit off. Same thing on Tesla and Hood. Yeah, that's not a bad approach. I think for swing trading, for sure, I would do that. I think swing traders that I follow on Twitter, a lot of them will take exits in like 10 parts. You know, they'll take 10% off, 10% off, 10% off on the way up. You know, because swing traders are usually long biased. So they'll go long and they'll take 10% off, 10% off, 10% off, and they might have like a 10% piece of a stock from like $50 ago that they're still riding up, which is pretty awesome. I think I would probably do the same myself if I was swing trading, because I don't know, swing trading is just even longer. Like, you might be waiting days for you to even see any profit. Right? And you know, if you're waiting around for that 3R, 4R, 5R, that might take weeks. I don't know if I can handle that. Yeah, I would definitely have to take some profit off if I see any. But at least for day trading, it's like, you know, I'm not waiting super long. But yeah, I'm back up to more than like 3.5R right now. And all this talk about taking pieces off is making me want to take a piece off, guys. All this talk. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that and you know, save myself some mental trauma in case NVIDIA rips back up to the eyes. And I don't know. Like I said, I kind of have bounced around the idea of taking profits at 1R, 2R, and 3R. So overall ends up being like a 2R gain. But in my back testing, I found that a lot of positions reach 2R and then 3R. So I'm leaving about like half an hour on the table by taking profits a little too early. Of course, on days like today, you end up kicking yourself because, like, man, you could have taken off a piece when you're up 1R. So maybe that's the answer. On days like today, on choppy days, sideways days, maybe taking off a little piece earlier is a good idea. You know, anticipating that getting to 3R might be a pipe dream on a day like today, right? Like, is NVIDIA really going to drop all the way down to, like, you know, one, like, this would be a 3R gain for me in NVIDIA would be right here. 113.70 would be 3R gain. So is that too optimistic for me to assume that NVIDIA is going to drop all the way down here, make a new low? You know, on a day like today, I would probably agree with you. I think that might be too optimistic. So maybe it has to, maybe to adjust my approach a little bit to make it match like the market conditions. And that's probably a smart thing. Probably a smart thing. So yeah, where are we at here? Apple making a triple bottom here, 213 area, 213.70s, 214. Market near low of day. So the two things can happen. We can move lower or we can bounce off, continue higher. If we bounce off, then I'll have wished that I have taken profits off. Especially on my imaginary coin short that I don't have. Really unfortunate. NR Jackson, what's up, dude? NR Jackson saying, executing agenda trading strategy for stratospheric returns. Lucas Froelich. The short bear. Great video. I listened to this probably 5 times. Yeah, man, that guy's a genius. That guy's a young genius. Lucas Froelich, the short bear. I remember listening to Short Bear, like his videos, because I was a part of Mad-As trading, like back in 2021. I joined Mad-As trading, and I spent like a year shorting small caps. And Lucas was in that Discord back then in 2020, and before that, probably before I joined, because he was friends with Mad-As and he focused on shorting small caps, right? That's where Lucas got his start. And being a part of Mad-As's Discord, you had access to videos that were pre-recorded by Lucas, and I remember watching some of them, and man, I couldn't get through like 5 or 10 minutes into his videos. I just couldn't do it. It was so dry. He was reading like financial statements, you know, the like filings, SEC filings of small cap companies, and like looking into their financial, the shelves, the offerings, and like drilling down into revenue and like and expenses, and like a CFO, you know, it reminded me of a CFO going over the details of a company, the financing and all that stuff. And I was like, man, who's going to listen to this stuff? Who's going to listen to this boring stuff? And apparently a guy who makes $100 million, that's who's going to listen to it. Apparently, you know, really good traders. That's what they do. Really good traders. They do a lot of deep fundamental research. So yeah, that guy's, you know, that's funny because like I knew of him like back from the Mad-As days, and I kind of watched his rise, and I'm like, wait, is this the same guy? Dad, I used to watch his videos on Mad-As and like I was bored by them. This is the same dude that's now probably made like a couple $100 million, and you know, like started a hedge fund or something now. I don't know what, but yeah, that's what it takes, I guess, man. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Executing agenda trading strategy for stratospheric returns. Must be good. You watched it 5 times, NR Jackson, so I should watch it for sure. I should give it a go. And Christops is saying, yeah, taking profits, but like 1% of size. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, it does kind of quiet the brain a little bit to say that, okay, I've taken at least a little bit of profit on this. And sometimes I do that, you know, like I think today would have been a good example actually to do that. Like today is a good example to take some profits. Maybe, you know what? Let's do that. The only thing is, like, I have these automated orders already set up to take to exit for me. So when I mess with it, I have to like redo all the orders, and I'm kind of lazy. But you know what? Let me take some off here. So Tesla, I'm gonna take off. Let's take off a quarter. So we're going to take off a quarter on Tesla. So just covered some Tesla. And I'll cover a quarter on Hood as well. And then I need to... Oh. What's going on with Daz? I'm seeing some issues. So... Took some profit on whatever I just said. Hood and Tesla. And then NVDA... I'm going to move my stop all the way to break even because... Yeah, because it already went an R in my favor. And it'd be pretty dumb for me to take a loss on something that's already went in my favor so much. So, can't leave that wide of a stop. So yeah, moving the stop lower on NVIDIA. So the NVIDIA is going to be break even if it does stop me out. And I'll take a little piece off NVIDIA. If it drops a little bit more, I'll take a little piece off. And Tesla took a piece off already. Take some off here. Tesla. I'm going to put some more orders to cover Tesla and Hood. SPY. Let's see if it can make a new low. If it makes a new low, then we'll be good. Yeah, I mean, this is this is kind of difficult to wait this long to take profits. You know, like this is why I was trading 1 minute charts. It's like you're trading 1 minute charts, you're done with the day in like the first 15-20 minutes. Like you catch a move on Tesla, like today, or coin, on a 1 minute chart, you would have been done, man. Right? Look at this move. Just very clean on a 1 minute. You know, wait a few minutes short. Boom. Get a nice waterfall. I still struggle with this, like, you know, whether I should go back to a lower time frame. Is like 10 minutes too long? I don't know. I'm still kind of debating, and still kind of do some back testing on TradingView and kind of think about what, you know, what if any changes I want to make, or even maybe go into a 5 minute. You know, 5 minute might also be a decent way because you can get some earlier triggers. Like I may have shorted coin much earlier here, or gone long much earlier. I don't know. What do you guys? What kind of chart? What time frame do you guys use? I'm curious. Do you guys use 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute? Curious to see what all of you guys do out there. So NR Jackson's saying that he uses 2 minutes. Chris Stapps is using 5 minute charts. Yeah. Nice, nice. I like the 2 minute time frame. 2 minute time frame is nice for quick scalping. You know, you're focused on just one ticker. That's really cool. Marv XC, I use a 2 minute. Marv XC, I use a 2 minute, but I also check the daily and multiple time frames. Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty solid, you know. When I like the 2 minute time frame too, because it's at least it gives you a little bit of you know, some confirmation where it's not just like you're chasing 1 minute candlesticks. But I know a lot of people use 2 minutes. I think a lot of people use 2 minutes. I may go back to using like a 5 minute. I just switched over all my charts to 5 minutes. I may start doing that to to sort of allow me to maybe get into more setups a little bit earlier, because I think 10-minute might be holding me back. Like for example, like when I look at this on AMD, like if I was looking at a 5-minute chart, this is pretty easy short right here. You get a consolidation, sideways, move up, and then one candle that's just like ripping through all this action. It could short the break of VWAP here, and that could definitely get you like 2R right there. And then same thing again, shorting this resistance area. So 2 minutes is I think 2 minutes just gives me FOMO. Like when I try to use 2 minute, I just get a lot of FOMO because I want to like chase every candlestick. But when you have a clean move like this is a 2 minute chart. Man, when you have a clean move like this, nothing beats a 2 minute chart, because you could have got in like at the break of this low, 187, boom, $7 gain. And you're done with your day in 30 minutes or 1 hour. Maybe you take this long, write it up. Yeah. Do you guys trade one ticker at a time? Like you have one screen where you're only looking at one chart? Or are you kind of like me where you bounce around and are looking at a lot of different charts? Curious what you guys how you guys handle that. Because I think a lot of people that do use 2 minute charts or 1 minute chart, I think they're only trading like one ticker at a time, or they have like one big chart up and they're staring at the price action, and they've become very familiar with it. And but curious to see what you guys do. Christoph's is saying, Kristaps, I have market and mag 7 stocks on one screen all the time, and then one chart where I scroll through charts for execution. Yeah, that's a good setup where maybe you have like what this screen is, what I have on stream. Maybe you have a screen like that where you have a bunch of tickers. It's kind of like your scanner, and then you have a second screen where it's just one chart, and you can really just stare at just that individual stock and really focus in on, the 5 minute or 2 minute charts and execute that way. I think that's cool. Yeah, I kind of have a similar setup where like the screen that I'm streaming, this screen is obviously I don't trade on it. It's just like a view only. And then on the right side of this screen, I have my Dash Trader platform, and that just has one ticker, but different time frames of that ticker. So I have the 10-minute, 60-minute, 1 day, 30-minute, 15-minute of just like Tesla. And that way, right before I execute, I can kind of see different time frames of that ticker and kind of quickly sum it up. But so yeah, I guess I'm kind of doing a similar thing, but I'm staring at, I do have my attention kind of spread in between like a lot of tickers, because I'm looking at these 12 and then I have another 12 on top of this screen. So I'm looking at 24 tickers. But when I want to trade, I just narrow it down to one, or I just pick one and I put it on my dash chart, and then I execute off of that. So maybe we have a similar setup, but I do know some people who only have like one main chart in front of them, 2 minute or 5 minute chart, and then they'll just focus in on that. I think there's a lot of merit to doing that, where you're just focused in on just the price action. Really kind of helps you zone into the feel of what's going on. Anar Jackson saying, no charting platform, just my watch list that I cycle through in DAS. 1 to 5 trades at once max, but usually 2. That's cool. Yeah, I have a watch list too that I kind of use in DAS, but really, like, this screen is acting as my watch list because I just have this loaded up, change the tickers around just for the stocks that are in play, and then I'll just punch these tickers into DAS when I want to trade them. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's people I know that only trade one stock at a time. Like, literally, they'll just have one screen, one ticker. I think Blair does that. Blair's going to have just one ticker. He focuses on that all day. And, well, not all day, because, you know, just a morning he trades. But, yeah, I think there's an edge. Like, you can make a case for having an edge when you're so focused, you're zoned in into a ticker versus looking at so many like I am. I think you can make a case for saying that you can have an enhanced edge because you're so zoned in. You're looking at the price action, you're looking at level 2, you're looking at volume, you're looking at a lot of things, so you're kind of zoned into that ticker. But yeah, my approach is sort of like I kind of like to cast a wide net. And I like to look at like 24 tickers, and if I see a nice setup, I get in, use wide stops, and just based on my back testing, you know, I've been able to make a lot of these things work. And it is a slower pace. It's a slower pace of trading, but I think I've grown to like it, where it's just more relaxing. Get in a trade, let us do its thing, give it some wiggle room. They don't always work out right away. And but you know what? I may step down to the 5-minute charts, because now that I look at it, I'm seeing a lot of setups that I missed. A lot of setups that I missed. Like, you know, this SPY candle right here is pretty big tell for me. Tried to make a move up through 559, rejected. That's a good time to take shorts, guys. 725. Look at this, 725 short. That's, I do look at the SPY a lot before I make a trade, so anyways, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll keep this at a 5-minute. This is another nice long here on BABA on the 5-minute time frame. You can see it tried to dip, held really strong, 135.50, and a big bounce up. So that's kind of nice. All right, so this is working out nicely for us. Tesla, the market's dumping down, and Tesla, I'm getting ready to cover some more. Okay, just covered some more Tesla there. So now got good profit locked in on the day, almost 4R, guys. Almost a 4-hour day, just kind of lounging around. I'll take it. I'll take it. QBTS kind of lingering around, not doing much. You know, same thing with Intel. Intel not doing much either. And I'm really tempted just to cut those. Really tempted to cut Intel. It's at break even right now. BABA is also roughly break even. QBTS is, I'm down slightly. Wow, look at that move, guys, on Tesla and across the board. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's bring everything down, guys. Come on. I hope everyone's short. Let's bring everything down. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I didn't take any profits here on NVIDIA at all. And so let's do that, right? Let's take some profits. Let's take right here, taking some off. Boom. All right. Now we're cruising, guys. Now we're cruising. Now we're up 4.5 R. And the question is, do I want to cut off BABA and Intel? And the answer is, I don't know. I'm just here to ask the questions. I don't know the answers. I just do all the questioning. But this interesting wick here on Tesla really, made a new low. But look at this bottoming wick that it's holding. Man, it's really pushing in much higher. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange. I wonder if there's any news or anything. Probably not, because it's not that big of a move, but BABA, maybe I'll take a profit here at the VWAP, since it has bounced off once already. I think it's pretty smart to do that. My imaginary coin short would be up 2R right now, guys. My imaginary coin short. What the heck? How do I miss a trade? How do I miss a trade? Probably because I'm streaming and not paying attention. But what in the world, guys? Just giving away 2R like it's nothing. Just giving away 2R like it doesn't mean anything, guys. What is going on with me? Gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention here. Alright, speaking of that, let's see if I want to take some more off here on any of these. Yeah, I think I do want to take some more off. Wait, what is going on with Hood? Oh, maybe I'll take some off of Hood because I have uncover order. Hood, I'm going to take a piece off, cover some more Hood here, and then the rest I'll cover maybe if it makes a new low, or maybe at 36 area. Right below 36 seems like a good spot. QBTS, I think I might just cut the long. And Intel, I'm break even. I'm just going to cut Intel for break even. Nothing there. QBTS, roughly break even as well. Maybe it. Wow, look at Apple, guys. Holy smokes. I hope one of you shorted Apple. Things going in the tanker. Goodness gracious. This sucks for my long-term accounts, by the way. Although I bought Apple over the years, so my price is obviously a lot lower than where it's at now, my cost. So I still have a lot of room before I can drop. But man, what a good buying opportunity for the long run. I mean, this is not financial advice, of course, as it says on the top of my channel, not financial advice, but oh man, if people have some capital laying around, I can't imagine this being a bad time. To buy stocks. Like, how can this be bad? Well, those are famous last words. How can it be bad, top tick? This is how it can be bad. Let me show you. You buy here and S&P drops to 500. That's how it can be a bad time to buy, buddy. Market always proves you wrong, right? So, yeah, don't listen to me. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Do your own due diligence. Except Chris Tapps, he's saying Apple 200 load the boat. Apple 200 load the boat. I don't know what's going on with my Apple. Let me switch these two. Put Apple here. Let's put PLTR here. I can't get my... Clear the drawing set. Boom. Let's see what's going... Let's look at the weekly. Oof. Man. Your steps. You might be onto something, man. 200 load the boat. Look at this. This is where it bounced hard. And this was... the date for this is August the 5th of 2024. So about 7 months ago. 7 months ago, we were down here at 200, where it looks like this was a earnings gap down, which got bought up heavily. I mean, look at this buying. I mean, golly. Open, rip, and then continued ripping. Went from 200 to 260 in just a few weeks. Well, no, not a few weeks, because this is a weekly candle, so a few months. Anyways, yeah, man, I'm with you. I mean, I'm with you, dude. If Apple goes to 200, I'm buying some. If I have any money left. If I haven't already gone all in. I do have some cash sitting in the IRA in like some fixed income stuff. So when that matures, that was the whole plan, was like, I was maybe expecting some sort of move down in the market from when everything was so high a few months ago. And so I will have some stuff to put in if the market does drop. All right. I wonder if there's some kind of news hitting the markets right now, because that was a big swing. That was a big swing. Chris Tapps is saying, yes, I am the master chartist. The master chartist. The master technical analyst expert. But, yeah, I mean, you're onto something, man. 200. Makes sense for the long run. Okay, I don't know what the heck just happened, but everything spiked up, and I pretty much closed out all my short trades. Yeah. So what did I do here? Yep. I closed out. I have QBTS open on the long side. Everything else closed. So what did I cover here? I had you guys on mute for a second while I was finishing up. So I covered up hood. So all covered on hood there. Tesla all covered up. NVDA all covered up on the short. BABA stopped out for tiny loss. NVIDIA. Pretty good day so far for me today. Up about 3.5 hours. Almost 4 hours. Russia is agreeing to a temporary ceasefire. That's the news. Temporary ceasefire. Russia, Ukraine. Ceasefire. Update. That is the cause of this little blip up in the market. Right, yeah. I mean, that was the news that kind of blipped things up. News on the Ukraine war, Max XE saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the news, the ceasefire news, and that kind of messed up all my shorts. Oh, man. All right, QBTS, what's going on here? Let's see. It's dumping lower. Yeah, when this kind of random news hits, it's kind of hard to trade around these news events, because unless you're using wide stops, it's pretty easy to get wicked around in this environment. So, but I'm still hanging on to my QBTS long. My stop is going to be below this consolidation area, and if it gets stopped out, we'll probably lose about half an hour. And call it a day if that happens. Do have an appointment that I need to go to in about an hour and a half, so probably in the stream in about 10 minutes, unless something interesting happens. Marv XC, do you use a news feed? No, I don't use a news feed. Do you do that, Marv? Do you use a news feed, or if so, what do you use? Curious. I kind of use Twitter and YouTube channels and stuff like that I might have on the background. Or just browse CNBC. QBTS, nice bottoming wick. I like to see that off the 660. All right, MarvXC saying that I used to use Trade the News, but I don't use it anymore. Interesting, Trade the News, and I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's like a live. Let's check it out. Oh, so it's like a live commentary, the news, like a squawk box. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Have like kind of like a live squawk news in your ear, but I don't know, I think it might be too distracting for me. I mean these days with Twitter, you pretty much get your news. You just kind of have to you search for it, you know. Okay, everything back down we go. So temporary blip on the up on the market. Everything back down. Well, that's a bummer because I exited NVDA up here. Could have gotten. I mean, I don't know now if it goes even lower than this. What happens now? Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen now? And then. Yeah, so QBTS is my only open position right now, and I'll probably stop out of that if it can't hold over 650, I would say. Yeah, 650 seems like probably a little, this is too tight of a stop. But I've been in this trade for a long time, it hasn't worked, so, and I think if you draw a trend line like this, kind of been trending up, and if it doesn't hold this line, then 650 seems like a reasonable place to stop out, and that's risking a little bit less than half an hour. So NVIDIA short that we took up here, you know, I got in short around 116.90s, looks like 116, something like that. Yeah, right around here is where we got short NVIDIA, so that ended up working out pretty nicely. The only issue is it didn't move too much in our favor, roughly a little bit more than R, because my stop would have been here. We got about 1.5 R, and you know, it's unfortunate we didn't get too big of a move, but I guess you gotta take what you can get sometimes. Kristaps is saying, this market is so weak, reminds me of 2022 when everyone was trying to buy the dip all year long after COVID frenzy. Yeah, man. Yeah, 2022 market was tough to trade. That was a tough market. QBTS looks like it wants to stop me out at 650. Actually, that's going to be it is going to be a half an hour loss for me, just over half an hour actually, if it gets to 650. So that'll be my biggest losing trade of the day if QBTS hits 650. So hopefully those big market makers are not listening to my hugely popular live stream right now in targeting my 5 shares. No, just kidding. I have more than 5 shares, but definitely I'm not a big size trader. So yeah, at this point, I think I'll be happy to just take off QBTS, like, you know, at break even. which would be in the 670s for me. Let's see. Marv said, if you go to chat rooms and select global news, you can listen in to the news coming in for Thinkorswim. If you go to the chat rooms and select global news. Oh, cool, man. I didn't know that. I never used the chat rooms on Thinkorswim. Kristaps is saying, I am the big market maker, actually. Oh, crap, man. This whole time, you've been undercover, listening in, trying to target my $5 trades, huh? You got me. Yeah. QBTS, nice little candle here. See, this is why you got to use white stops, at least for if you're trading my kind of style. Because you're going to have these little fluctuations, these little wick outs on both sides. And this is kind of the time of day. Now we're getting into lunch hour here. Actually, yeah, right at noon, where, you know, it's just going to be like sloppy sideways move, or maybe in another 20-30 minutes you get a start of a new trend, either upwards or downwards. But QBTS being up like 15% today, just like Intel, doing nothing, right? Just pop up sideways, pop up sideways. So if I had to guess, I think there's not going to be much happening on QBTS for the rest of the day unless there's some kind of catalyst. Might be stuck in a sideways range. Apple continues to be the best short of the day, as it was the last couple of days as well. Fortunate. So let me check out this thing on said something about chat room, select global news. So global news, okay, let me try that. So go to chat rooms, global news, and you can listen into the news. Okay, so how do I do that? Listen. Okay, I'm listening in. Speak. Disabled. Watch. Global news. No video available. This is cool. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong okay. Listen. Talk. Interesting, man. Usually, you know, like I'll have a YouTube channel up or a Twitter up, and then if I see some kind of spike, I'll just search. Yeah, Apple was like a big miss of the day, I think. I mean, I think I was looking at Apple, but, you know, sideways for the most part until it broke the low of day at 214.40. Once it broke that low of day, boy, that was like the floodgates, huh? Man, the floodgates just came off there on Apple. Boom. Yeah, you could have easily gotten 3R on this one. So, unfortunately, we didn't catch that. We caught a lot of these sideways trades like Intel, QBTS, caught those two. Coin was, you know, was late to the party on this one, and then not much. And I did an imaginary short on Coin, guys. Don't forget the imaginary short that I did in this area, which would have been giving me an imaginary 2R return. Too bad imagination doesn't count. But yeah, I think QBTS will probably, I'm breaking even on it now. I'm up 3.5R on the day. I think it's a pretty decent for the action today. I mean, probably could have been a little bit more prepared on the day coming in. Could have been a little bit more prepared for sure. Looking at things like Mara. Mara was actually a better trade than Coin. Looking at Mara. Much better range. Cleaner move too. So, you know, could have shorted it here early on. 13s. Get this move and then again a short off this 50 period. Simple moving average. The orange is the 50 period. Moving average. Could have shorted it there and then got 3R for sure. Ooh, Meta too. Check out Meta. I don't know if you guys have seen Meta. Look at this move. Really nice move here on Meta. Big sell-off yesterday. Sideways. And then continuation of the sell-off today. And then the VWAP short. Could have got the VWAP short here for a 2R move. So, yeah, Rigetti, RGTI. It's another one I have on the top screen that also offered a nice opportunity with these inverted hammers. Candles. Could have shorted this consolidation. Probably capture 3R on this move. But other than that, I don't know what you guys traded, but there was really like wasn't too many great ops with a lot of range. I mean, the SPY chart actually looks better than a lot of these individual tickers. So SMCI, look at that. SMCI was pretty decent. But the second move is the one that really can get the R that you need. First move kind of short. Okay, QBTS coming up a little bit. Let's see how we do here. Volume is fairly low on QBTS, and ooh, just as I say that, let's go QBTS. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Might take some off if you get a spike into 690s. If not, we're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop out of QBTS here. If this rejects and comes back lower, I'm out. Because I don't want to sit here the whole day and watch this thing go sideways. So Intel curling up, held this area 2365. The trend line that we had from earlier, price breaking over that trend line. Baba was a good thing we got out. Just went sideways. Baba, we got out. The tiny loss. Very tempted to take off QBTS here. And in fact, I will if it can get over this 679 line. Seems to be having trouble with. As far as volume goes, I do have volume on my other DAS charts that I use, so I can see the volume. And it's been increasing a decent amount from the red candles. The previous 3 candles have had increasing volume for sure, especially the current candle. According to DAS, we got 1.1 million shares on this candle. So there we go, QBTS. There we go. Let's look at the 10-minute chart. What are we doing on the 10-minute chart? Sideways. Great. All right. Let's see. We do have a volume move up here on QBTS. 1.5 million shares compared to the red candles only had about 800,000 shares. So about double the volume now. Yeah. From these 2 candles to this one here, you got double the volume of these candles. So that signals to me that we may have enough juice for this to make a run. But it's got to go now. If it doesn't go now, then this is just going to be a little blip that gets sold off. MarvXC is asking, do you watch the tape? Actually, I don't. I don't watch the tape. I'm strictly looking at the chart patterns and like the structure of the chart levels. And yeah, I've tried looking at the tape. I've tried looking at the level 2. I've tried all those things, but I trade so many tickers at once that, just not. Well, I mean, I could have the tape up on DAS and kind of look at it before, but I don't know if that really makes much of a difference for me in my back testing. I don't look at tape and stuff like that. I'll look at mostly the chart patterns. I'll look at risk to reward. I look at volume, and for me, that's the number one thing. Chart patterns like this QBTS is putting higher low ABCD pattern, right? You get a big move up, sideways consolidation, and then curl up into over 7. To me, that's everything. So, the issue with the tape is it's like in the eye of the beholder, right? Like if you're looking at the tape right now, which I'm not, but if you look at the tape of QBTS, you might see a bunch of sellers here at 690s. You might see a big seller here, right? 500K shares or a million shares or whatever. And you might say, so what does that mean? Right? You see a big seller. Okay. That's great. And, mind you, I'm not very good at reading tape, right? I'm definitely not an expert, so maybe I'm completely off base here. But you see a big seller, and, if you're long, is that a sign that maybe you should just exit because now you got too much of a selling pressure here? Or is it a good sign that, hey, look, there's a guy that's selling 1 million shares, and if he gets filled, now we're going to go higher? So you could interpret it both ways, or maybe both are true. I don't know. But the other thing that can happen is, let's say you're focused in on that 690 seller, 692 price seller, big seller on the tape, whatever you want to call it. And let's say he does get filled and you move up, right, to 698, 699, and then you just flush back down. So, what did that mean then? The big seller at 690, does that mean anything? Did he got filled, or did it mean nothing? Or was there a bigger seller at 7 that is selling more shares? And then what'll happen at 705? So it's like, you can sit here and go through that. And I think, I mean, obviously there are people that read the tape and do well and use that, and that gives them an edge. And obviously I don't know enough about it to comment one way or another, but for me, it's just like reading tea leaves. Like, what I see is like a big seller and resistance. What you see might be like, oh, this is good. We need to continue higher. Yeah, so for that reason, I kind of just I look at the chart, and I think at the end of the day, the candlesticks and the price action are going to tell you, right? Like where the sellers are, where the support is, where the resistance is. Like on BABA here, very clear. You got buyers all around this area, 170 or 137.70s. You've had buyers all along this area. At the VWAP, they wouldn't let it even drop. So do I need to read the tape to know that? No. Just look at the chart, and I see all these wicks forming. I see a rejection here on BABA at this level, 139. See a sort of a doji candle form, and then price going lower. I can assume that seller stepped in here to bring this lower. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about risk versus reward. So, whether I'm reading the tape or not probably may not make much of a difference for my style, but I can see how it can make a difference for people who are scalping 1 minute candlesticks. I can definitely see that. And when I was trading small caps, I know a lot of people were in there reading the tape, like looking at the sellers, or if there's an algo, manipulating the prices and stuff like that. So I can definitely see the value in it. I just, for my style of trading, 5 minute or 10 minute charts, I haven't really seen the need to incorporate that. So I'm all out of QBTS. Had about a third of an hour gain on that trade. So I took it all off there in the 686. So all out of QBTS. So yeah, I mean, right there, if I was watching a tape, if I was watching a tape right there, maybe what I talked about, maybe that's what I would have seen. Big seller at 690, holding the price there. Bunch of tape, green on the tape, going in at 680s. Buyers trying to push it higher, but the offer not moving, not budging at 690, and now you see this. And maybe that's what would happen on the tape. Now, do I need to actually see the tape to know that? No, I kind of could tell by looking at the candlestick not getting higher than 695. Kind of told me that there's sellers there, and that's why I got out. So I hope that's kind of a long answer to your simple question. Do you watch the tape, Marv? Kristaps had asked, do you trade the whole day or just the morning sessions? I don't trade the whole day. I don't. I like around this time I'm done. I mean, I'm done with my trades. Actually, I've closed out everything, so I actually don't have any open trades, and I've got almost 4-hour profit on the day. So, I don't. I try to come back to the desk and try to trade the last 2 hours, like 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. to see if there's any good moves, and sometimes there are, but a lot of times there aren't. A lot of times it's just sideways movement, or it's like whipsaw. You'll have like a fake out in one direction, you get long or short, and then you end up getting stopped out, and just not worth it. But I usually don't trade the whole day. I usually just trade up until now, 3 hours. I'm in the Pacific time zone, so 6:30 in the morning is when I start, and it's about to be 3 hours. It's almost 9:30 here, 9:17 Pacific time, 12:17 market time, so it's about 3 hours for me, and that's pretty much where I call it. I call it here 3 hours on the stream, and then just go about other stuff that I need to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. So thanks for following along, guys. Thanks for coming in, joining me. It's been fun chatting stocks and stuff. I'll do it again tomorrow, so we'll just keep this up, and let's see if we can get more people to join in. The more the merrier. Tomorrow is going to be Friday 14th, the last day of the week, so hopefully we get some good action. And look at this now. Look at this QBTS. Man, don't I look like a genius tape reader? So selling everything in the wick here. No, I'm just lucky. Just lucky. Notice the hesitation, and this having this much of a sideways move and then it doesn't go over, that tells me everything I need to know. Okay, that's it. So cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Marv, have a great rest of the day. Top, thanks, man. You too. Thanks for watching, all of you, and hope you guys had a green day today. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. So take it easy. Take care.